Friends and followers, welcome back to my channel. Greetings from home. My run got canceled due to winter weather. So, well, tonight's just a crazy night in that case. So on this episode of Truckin' It, I'm going to talk with y'all about the different types of noses, pun intended, that are found on semis. This one's kind of a anteater or a conventional. It could fall under both categories. Whereas a cabover is kind of like a wall in the front. So, let's get started, and I'll tell you about some of the differences between the three types. So cabovers, conventionals, and anteaters. Those are the three types of semis you commonly see on the road anywhere worldwide. Now, a conventional has kind of a dog's nose like this one, where you've got the engine in the front, a hood to access it, then you've got the driver's compartment, and then you've got the sleeper. Engine, driver's compartment or cab, and then the sleeper. This is the most common way that semis are designed these days, is in terms of the tractor portion. Now in Europe and in many other places, you don't see these often because these have a very wide turning radius. And if you turn it too tight, you will crunch the extenders and the back of the cab with your trailer. That's where cabovers come in. Cabovers are designed to have a much tighter turning radius because the cab is literally on top of the engine. Case in point, models like the Peterbilt 362, the Kenworth K100, and the Volvo FH series. The latter of which is not very common in the United States, but is exceptionally common in Europe, along with Mercedes Actros, etc. Cabovers tend to have a huge advantage in that, in terms of tackling tight roads and city driving and loading docks. But their disadvantage is the aerodynamics of the truck along with the dynamic stability. So here in the United States, we run very high speeds, almost as fast as some stretches of highway in Germany or in some other countries. Case in point, here in Texas, we have a highway that's rated for 85 miles per hour. It's State Highway 130, which is obviously named after 130 kilometers an hour. Okay? That is very, very fast for a semi. And most of us don't even run anywhere near that speed because the companies nowadays put speed governors on, and they know that even the conventionals have issues with aerodynamics at that speed. And the anteaters are just as bad when you're exceeding 65 miles per hour. So, therefore, the main disadvantage of the cabover, like I said, is aerodynamics. It has the aerodynamics of a solid brick or something like this flashlight, because the flat nose pushes air up against the nose of the cab, and it makes handling a cabover quite different from handling a conventional or an anteater. The ride may be a bit rougher, especially at high speeds, and you're going to need a lot more effort to keep the rig straight when you're driving a cabover. Another issue with Cabovers is maintenance. Specifically accessing things like your engine oil dipstick, which either requires an access panel in the cab, like the Kenworth and the Pete I mentioned earlier, or that you got to tip the whole cab forward, which means making sure all your belongings are secured in the cabinets and in the locked compartments so that they don't end up in your windshield or busting through. That's one of the pain in the butt things about a Cabover. Conventionals and anteaters don't have this problem because they have a dedicated hood up in the front that's used for accessing all your engine maintenance items, including your washer fluid, your engine coolant, and your oil, your fuel filters, your power steering fluid, and any other fluids that might be on the truck. Now anteaters versus traditional conventionals. An anteater kind of looks like this truck. And is typically sold as the Volvo VN, Freightliner Cascadia, Kenworth T600, T660, T680, blah blah blah. Peterbilt equivalent 386, Peterbilt 387, etc. Those trucks they're like a conventional, but they have aerodynamic features built in that are inspired by an armadillo's nose. So, the headlights and the grille, for example, you can see how the nose on this model slopes downward and then curves to a big mammoth grille. And that's the way they are these days here in the US. So, now what's with these crossovers between the platforms? You know, the ones that look really ugly. Walmart, Peterbilt, I'm looking at you in particular. Well, the Walmart Wave by Peterbilt and the Tesla Semi and the Nikola Semi are variants of the Cabover design. The difference is they don't have engines, which means no coolant, no oil, no power steering fluid, and only the washer fluid tank. So the washer fluid tank gets relocated but somewhere under an access panel. And instead of having a traditional engine, they just don't have one. They use battery power or a gas turbine or something like that, depending on the type of propulsion they're designed to use. Hydrogen is another thing that's starting up, especially with Toyota and Nikola in that realm. But the designs look way different than the traditional anteater, conventional, or Cabover, because they have elements of the three blended together. And with electric semis being the future, it's only a matter of time before someone comes up with one that has all the space of a conventional with the practicality and the tight turning radius of a Cabover. I see it coming a few years from now, not immediately, because a lot of things have to be worked out between now and then, like the charging infrastructure, the aerodynamics of the truck, and the future is definitely looking promising in terms of truck design. I'm Trucker Zach Bell. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes of Truckin' It. And until next time, let's make your best trip your next trip. Keep learning, keep thinking, keep on trucking. And Well, maybe you will end up in your dream truck someday. Bye for now.